Hey there, Tiff, the lady golf teacher here today, and I have a very special guest with me today, my buddy, my mentor, Mr. Rod Brown, who I've had the privilege of actually learning to play golf from, and also he's given me the opportunity to teach, so if it wasn't for him I wouldn't actually be here sharing all my knowledge and insights about golf. So firstly, thanks Rod for all of that you've done for me. I really appreciate it.
No problems at all. A pleasure.
It's been a great journey, so it continues to be. So what I've got here today with Rod, I'm going to have a quick chat with Rod, and we're just going to get some insights about what he sees with people when they're out there playing golf, and who he teaches and so on. And then he's going to share one of his little crafty tips for you for chipping. So we'll look forward to that one. So Rod, why don't you just tell us how you got started in golf?
Well, I started when I was 14 years old. Quite a long time ago. When I decided to be a pro, I was an amateur playing off scratch, and at the time I was 24 going 25, and then basically I did an apprenticeship actually at Eleanor Country Club. So I served a 3-year apprenticeship there. Then I joined the tour once I completed my traineeship. I did the tour for about 12 years, and then basically I then became a club pro. So I was a club pro at Bayview for 33 years, so it's a long time. It's a long while. So I've been a pro for over 39 years now. So it's a long time on the professional ranks. So I've learned a lot of things along the way, and if I can help with any tips and things coming up, well, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We've actually got something coming up really soon. Rod and I are going to share with you at the end of this video, but so you're going to have to wait until the end to hear what we're up to. So, okay, so Rod, so over your 39 years of experience in golf, is there common themes that come up when people come to you for lessons? Are you seeing things that crop up?
Yeah, probably the most important thing they always say is they're not consistent. They haven't got any consistency, and they're always failing when they need that good shot or that good chip or whatever, and they just haven't got that consistent sort of method to use. And I think that's where I think we can help them there, because there are simple ways of playing golf. It's not that complicated.
No.
And so if we can get that message across, I think everyone will enjoy their golf a lot better.
Because that's the biggest thing, isn't it? Like, people try to make it way more complicated than it really needs to be.
That's correct. Yeah. There are ways that when you're coaching that you can get get the client confused a little bit. So I think we've got to give it a very stock standard type of method that you can understand and simplify things. Because as I said, the word is being consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. I did a survey last year, I was telling you before, on everyone that follows me, and the biggest word that came out was consistency. Like, everyone's looking for consistency, and that's always my plan with sharing videos and so on, and bringing an expert like you out here, is so that we can help that person that's sitting behind that camera there watching us now, going, okay, well, this is the answer to get consistent in a specific area of their game, isn't it?
That's correct. Yeah.
Is there anything, do you find that usually what happens to when people are playing, like, they are very inconsistent with their shots, but do you find that it's more of a mental sort of situation that comes up for them, that they're freaking out, and therefore, because their skill level's just not quite there anyway, that's why they just can't perform at the end of the day on the course? Oh yeah,
look, it's skill levels, and basically when they are not confident, they're not confident about their technique, that's when things start to fail. So what you've got to be able to coach your client is really how to play that shot in a much more simpler term and in a routine fashion, so that basically they're not confused anymore, and that will then bring confidence that they can pull off that shot. So I think it's important that they get that feeling that they are confident and that they feel like they know what they're doing. That's that's what it's all about.
Because it's the biggest thing that I see is people just don't know.
That's right. They
have no idea what they got to do.
And they listen to other people and stuff like that. But I think picking up a couple of good points that will show in the near future is that we're going to make things a lot more simple for them. And let's see if we can get that consistency for them.
Yeah, definitely. And what about, I find that a lot of people actually don't have lessons. They think that they can just pick up a golf club and off they go and try. You laugh. I laugh. Right. What can you say to, someone that's quite proud of, never having a golf lesson yet they're still sitting on a really high handicap, and you think that they don't need lessons because they don't want to be a pro? I mean, that's a load of, BS, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts about that?
Well, as I say, look, the only way you can improve is have a coaching, and coaching does help you get that consistency and also that confidence to play a golf shot, and that's what I keep harking back to, because a coach does install confidence to you, and once you get that feeling, you'll go out and you'll start making those shots that you'd really like to be able to play. That bunker shot, that chip shot, that putt. Not getting over the ball and thinking, oh God, where the hell's this going to go? And so the thing is that coaching is so essential. Even when I was a kid, I had a coach, and basically I had a number of coaches, and basically what they did was they always give me a confident tip every time. Always walked away with something in mind, and that's important in golf and in coaching. Is that you've got to be able to walk away with something confident in your mind that you know that you're going to be able to play that shot.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of practice, and practice certainly makes it perfect. There's no doubt about that. So those people that think that they can just go out and play golf and maybe read a book or whatever,
good luck.
It don't work. It don't work.
Reading a book is all up to interpretation too, isn't it? Because I know, like when I was starting, I used to, because I've got heaps and heaps of books at home, and I used to try and read as well. I was having lessons and so on, but I was finding that I was getting pretty screwed up, and my interpretation of what they're actually saying in the book to how it actually was supposed to happen was very, very different, which I discovered. So, but I'm a big fan of lessons. Like my background's been, tennis and playing on the tour and teaching tennis and so on. So when I took up golf, I know exactly how important it was to have lessons right from the beginning, because, I had a goal that I wanted to achieve, and, and got there. But, definitely. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are, does it? Like,
no.
That's the big thing, is it?
No, I'm still coaching people in their 80s now. Yeah. And that's one thing I find that I've accomplished now, is that I'm now getting a lot of clients now in the elderly, and that's a little bit of my expertise. If you've got an injury or something like that, don't worry, you can still play golf. Yeah. There are ways and means of being able to play golf, and that's something I can do, because I work around that all the time. And we're all not Tiger Woods or Kari Webbs or whatever. We're all got our own little problems, be it a bad back or a bad knee, whatever. So we got to be able to help you be able to play golf under those circumstances. It's not rocket science. No. But you got to be able to do what you can do. Yeah. And what you're capable of doing. But you must have a coach. Yeah. You must have a coach.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rod's going to share with us one of his little tricks today. So it's a special treat for you. So what are we going to be looking at today, Rod? What are you going to do?
A simple pitch under the green. This is where a lot of people have a lot of problems in regards that they duff the shot, or they hit the ball in the belly and it goes careering back over the green into the bunker or whatever, and down into a hazard or whatever. And the trouble is that they're 9 times out of 10 they'll just grab their putter and try and hit through that long grass and think that it's going to get on the green, but it doesn't happen. So you've got to be able to use like a wedge or your sand wedge, so that the situation is that the ball's going to be lofted by the club's loft itself, rather than having to think about getting under it yourself. The golf club does all the work for you. So it's only a matter of then having a very simple technique to make it work.
Yeah. Because the ball basically just hits the club face, doesn't it? And just bounces off. That's all correct. It's got to do. You don't have to do anything special with it.
And we're so lucky these days. We've got all these particular clubs now that basically where they're all got this beautiful bounce on the back of the club, and all your new wedges, and it's so much easier than the days when I used to play, and we used to have the sand wedges are like like a knife. They used to cut the ball in half.
Yeah.
But now these particular clubs now are just designed to really make it easy for you.
Yeah, great. Just quickly, because I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that don't know. You just mentioned bounce on a wedge. Could you explain that so that that they can actually understand what that actually means?
Well, what it means is that when you can actually, you'll notice when you see good players that they can actually open the blade up and so forth when they're playing these high shots. And what happens is because the what we call the bounce or the cutaway, you might say, at the back of the club, what it does, it helps glide the club head under the ball. So what happens, it imparts more spin to the ball, and the whole idea is that it gets the ball up for you. You don't have to think about the leading edge hitting the ball and in the belly. So what happens, you've got to be able to use that bounce to get the ball airborne.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so there's different degrees of bounce as
That's
well.
correct,
So what's the difference between something that's a 4 degree or an 8 degree or a 12 degree bounce or something like that?
Yeah. Well, what happens is that the more degrees, of course, basically the more bounce you can have. So in other words, the more loft you can get.
So is that easier? Then is that easier for the club to slide underneath the ball?
Right.
Is that what you're saying? The higher the degree?
That's correct. And so what happens, it helps you just glide the club under the ball.
Yeah.
Especially in bunker shots and so forth like that. So the whole thing is that with the all these designer clubs now, if you don't have wedges with this sort of technology, you really are behind the 8 ball, right? So that's what you got to have, and that's something I'd always recommend to all my clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also, with regards to the bounce, is there a particular type of degree of bounce that you should have on the grass compared to the sand, or you should have, I guess for the average golfer? Sorry, we just had a little fallout. So with regards to the bounce, Rod, I was just asking, is there with regards to the degree of bounce, should an average golfer, that only plays a few times a week, is not going to practice. Is there a particular type of degree of bounce that they should actually have for their club?
Well, it's basically a stock standards around about 4 degree. Yeah. So
and that caters for both.
That caters
really?
for sort of for both. You start tinkering around with the others, well, then you're going to get different types of effects on your shot. So basically, yeah, about the 4 is really is about the standard, where you can actually play an array of different shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, the higher the degree, it's more sort of specialised for bunkers.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Okay. Well, there's bounce that gets talked about a lot, but a lot of people actually don't know what it actually means. So it's great that we've got Rod, Mr. Expert, here to explain it for us. Okay, Rod. So I think it might be time so we can beat this rain to go into a tip.
Okay. So the important factor about this particular shot, just pitching the ball onto the green, is we're going to use that loft of the club and that bounce. So the whole idea is that we just got to make a swing. Basically, the whole idea of pitching is making the club head do the work rather than you trying to design the shot. So my simple tip is this: place the ball basically more or less just about a ball width inside your left heel, which basically will make the club itself just sit nicely on the ground and keep the shaft basically straight down. Your stance should be just either quite square to target. You can grip down the club a bit further if you wish, depending on being comfortable over the ball. But the whole idea about this shot is just to make a normal swing and make sure that you direct your right knee through the shot, so you're throwing a ball. If you throw a ball underarm, what do? Your right knee goes with it, doesn't it? So it's the same effect that we have to have in this shot. So if your legs stop, you'll hit behind it, you'll guts the ball, you do all sorts of silly things. So simply get the club, the ball position just inside your left foot, square stance, get the shaft nice and straight down, and then just make a swing back and through, making sure that your right knee goes through, throwing the ball at the target. That wasn't a bad shot either. No, so that's a simple tip. But there's going to be a lot more to be able to tell you in the near future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed that tip from Rod, and there's going to be a lot more coming up in the near future. And Rod, we're going to put together the PCP technique, which is coming up in a clinic that we're actually going to be launching very, very soon.
Yes. Yeah.
So what we want to do is make sure that you keep your eye out for the PCP technique. We're not going to tell you what it is. You're going to have to just wait and see.
Wait for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any other things that you'd like to add to what we discussed this morning?
Well, as I said, look, the whole thing is that if we can help you improve your golf, especially coming to our clinics and so forth, I think you're going to not only enjoy that, but you're going to learn a lot of good things and make the game a lot easier for you, so you can be that consistent golfer.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Rod, and really
Tiff.
appreciate you coming out. Rod's going to be a guest host, guest speaker in the future on Future Tips as well. We're going to bring him in every so often and give us some more information about golf and get his insights, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to doing this PCP technique with you too. It'll be good fun. And but in the meantime, enjoy your day. Please leave a comment down below. We'd love to hear what you like best about what you saw today. And remember this, tee it high, let it fly, or
I forgot.
drive it long and putt it strong.
Putt it strong. That's right. I told her that the other day, and I already forgot it.
You already forgot it. I remembered. All right. Have a good day. See you soon.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.